Hi everyone, Dr. Roop here, a brief podcast for you on the Elementary Self-Determination Project. And as you see here, as Dr. Seuss so aptly said, you have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes, you can steer yourself any direction you choose. The problem, of course, with a lot of kids with disabilities is they're not given the opportunity to choose. Choices or decisions are made for them. So at any age, at any school level, elementary, middle, high school, this is really an important thing. So some tips for you on this particular assignment. Elementary Self-Determination Project, promoting self-determination skills through choice making or self-management. I'm going to focus for the purposes of this particular podcast on choice making rather than self-management. And Sjogren in her book also describes, and I will post these other two chapters online shortly, goal setting and self-advocacy as two more skills that lead towards self-determination. Now I want to point out first and foremost that choice making cannot be equated with self-determination, but it is a skill that leads toward self-determination. Okay, so here we go. And I think that choice making, you're going to have lots of choices yourself in terms of this assignment, and if you want to do self-management, that's fine. I think your biggest resources in this project are going to be the Sjogren book, Self-Determination and Transition Planning, and one of the two chapters, promoting self-determination skills through choice making or self-management, and yourself, your knowledge of your students, and your mentor teacher. Finally, another asset that you'll have is your ability to use the lesson plan template already. So it's not anything that's going to be new to you in terms of completing this assignment. All right, so for you, choices. Well, together with your mentor teacher, you're going to need to choose a student in your elementary placement in need of developing a better ability to make choices, an enhanced ability perhaps. So we're not going to use the self-determination assessment tool, the AIR, because it's really not meant for elementary school kids, and to adapt it would make it not valid and no longer reliable. So we're going to rely on you and on your mentor teacher, and really I believe that you could probably choose any child or group of children. If you happen to be, for example, in terms of your instructional day, working in small groups, then that would be fine too. You wouldn't have to upset the instructional flow to isolate one young boy or girl to teach him or her a self-determination skill like choice making. So let's see. So we're going to want some a little bit of data on this child's ability to make choices now, and on the opportunities available in his or her educational setting to do so. So first of all, I think it's probably going to be best if you limit this to one part of your instructional day, math, language arts, whatever, and then assess your child's choice making skills right now, in a baseline sort of way, and his opportunities for making choice. Maybe he has no choice possibilities now, fine. Or maybe he has one. So, this would be an observational thing, and you would just report it as a frequency data. He has two choices on a regular basis in math, two opportunities rather in math to make choices. And what does he do with those two opportunities at present? So You're going to need to plan a little extra time into your lesson, because you're going to need to embed in whatever subject area it is. You're going to have to embed a little of this instruction in choice making. Okay. Okay. So what's next? So again, get that chapter of Sjogren out. Look at the example on page 39. In the box, it's described as promoting choice making in academic settings with students with learning disabilities. It gives you a good example there, and it talks about making your student familiar with the options that are available, and this involves the teaching part again, and then giving him a regular and consistent choice-making opportunities. So you want to hold this constant. You don't want to be flip-flopping or changing it around during this particular instructional unit. And like I said before, building additional time into your lesson plan to actually teach the skill of choice making. So what you're going to turn in then, the lesson plan that you'll turn in it's really going to be a lesson plan within a lesson plan. So you may have a lesson plan that's math related, or that it's English language arts related, or that it's science related, and that you can reference in the subject and in the context and the Common Core standards and so forth. But in terms of the daily lesson objective, this should be more choice making specific, okay? So statement of objective and rationale, your input, modeling, instruction, modeling, guided practice, independent practice. This should all revolve around choice making. So, and down below, if the choice making is going to involve materials, of course, or how you're representing or expressing or engaging this particular child or children, then fill in the UDL section as well, any materials you used, how technology was integrated into the lesson. 2, how did you ensure everyone had access? No, well, if you're talking about 2 or 3 people, a small group, then you would address this. If you're pulling the child out to teach him choice-making skills as a single person, then no. And how did your students benefit from technology, low-tech or high-tech? Yeah, that you would want to address as well. So lots of choices involved now. The options to offer, for example, are these going to be between activities, or are there going to be choices of things to do? Preferred activities within non-preferred activities? Is the option that you're going to be able to offer have to do with the order of activities within math or within language arts? Will it be not to participate in a particular activity, one of the activities within math or within language arts on a given day? Will it have to do with the location of an activity, where the student does that? Will they have a choice in that regard? Or about the materials and or the reinforcers that are used in the activity and after the activity is completed. So when and where, who's going to be present? Will that be a fixed person? Will it be you? Will it be you and your mentor teacher? Will it be you and an aide? And then how many options are you going to offer? So this has to do really with a student's ability at the moment to make choice. If a student has no ability to make choice, then the options you offer are going to be limited, probably 2. If the student already has 2 options, you might be looking at expanding those options, okay? And then finally, what response are you going to be looking to observe? So Is the student, in other words, how are you going to know if your lesson is succeeding? So maybe non-response or a problem behavior might be evidence of your choice-making lesson not working, whereas engagement, increased engagement, increased time on task, decrease in the length of time it takes to complete the task, whatever, what response are you going to be looking for? An affective response, that the child is excited about this activity in math or English or science. So those things you're going to want to be able to document in some way. So what is it that you're going to be looking for to see that, a change occurred? So in terms of deliverables for this assignment, some sort of data on choice-making status quo. Where is the child now? How many choices does he have or she have? And how does he or she use those choices? Lack of response, does respond, does seem to like it, you just want to enhance that. And so define choice in terms of context. Is it going to be choice in math, choice in English, language arts, or whatever? You can define choice in terms of the child having one opportunity right now to make a choice in language arts on a regular basis. You can define the status quo now in terms of how many options, which options, and how many are now offered. So, for example, status quo might be that the child can arrange the order in which he rotates to math stations on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Okay, so, and then I would like you to define how you would like to see choice expanded for your students. So, what is the hypothesis? When this is all over, how would you like to be able to define choice for him or her in a richer, more expanded sort of a way? So, and the other two deliverables are a lesson plan and a timesheet. So, again, this is really important, but you can get easily carried away with trying to do too many things in terms of choice, and you can do that too. But for this particular lesson, maybe not. So let me just go back and explain what I mean there. Some of you guys are all in major and minor placements. Some of you for the elementary assignment will have 2 days a week in your major placement, and some of you will have 2 days a week in your back up. Some of you will have 2 days a week at the elementary level, and some days of you will only have one. So if you're there 2 days, you might be able to do extra things, but in terms of this assignment, I really want everybody just to do the same. And conversely, when we get to the self-determination project at the secondary level, some of you will have 2 days a week there at the secondary level, and many of you will only have 1 day. So this is a lesson, it's an assignment, but I'm hoping you're recognizing how important self-determination skills are, and that you will not stop necessarily with what is outlined for an A or whatever in this assignment, but that you'll go beyond. And if it works for this one student, then maybe you'll think about expanding it to a second and a third student. Okay? I hope that helps. If you have further questions, we can certainly talk about it in class.